Looking for incredible Sony lenses that won't break the bank in 2026? Whether you're shooting photos, videos, or just want to upgrade your kit without emptying your wallet, I've got you covered. Today, we're diving into the best budget-friendly APS-C lenses for Sony cameras, covering sharpness, versatility, and value, so you can get professional results without the professional price tag. Let's jump in. I'm Mark Bergering, and on this channel, I provide practical photography tips and gear advice. If I give you some value, consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel, and you can see more videos from us in the future. All right, so we're talking APS-C lenses. That's gonna fit your A6000 series camera all the way up to the A6700. As usual, all the links to the lenses I talk about will be down in the description below, and I appreciate you using those, and it helps support the channel. First up, we're gonna talk primes. I think everyone should consider these primes. First is the Viltrox Air series. It's pretty cool. I've been using the 85mm f1.4, which I'm filming on here, and that is in the Pro series for full frame, but the Air series from Viltrox is also a great value. These lenses are super affordable and cover a solid range you might look for in a set of primes, with a 35mm equivalent of 22mm up to about 85mm over several options. There's a ton of value. If you want to step up a little bit in quality, you could look at the Viltrox Pro series that has a variety of options with a little bit more money to spend. In the $300 to $600 range, you get faster apertures like f1.2 or f1.4. These are going to be more in line with the 85mm Pro series lenses that I talked about. It also has an aperture ring and declicking and manual focus ring, all the features, but they're targeted towards the APS-C format. Third, in terms of APS-C primes, I would suggest you look at the Sigma series. I was just chatting with a Sigma rep at an event, and he was saying that Sigma is trying to position themselves as the top tier for non-Sony lenses, and I kind of agree. They've always kept up quality at the top of the mind, and Sigma primes 16, 30, and 56, that prime range is going to be an awesome set that meets a lot of people's needs. They have great low light performance with f1.4 apertures and solid value. These lenses have also been around for a while, so you can probably get some used deals on whether it's eBay, KEH, or MPB. Sites like those are going to have these Sigma lenses available. If you have any issues, you'll also have the peace of mind of being able to send it for Sigma to repair. I wouldn't count on sending your Viltrox lenses in right now, given the complexity of tariffs and international shipping and just dealing with China in our current political climate. Lastly, I wanted to give a shout out to the little pancake lenses that I also love when I had an A6000 that I used every day. The 16mm f2.8 from Sony, and they also make a 20mm f2.8. These are awesome walk-around lenses that I often recommend to people that are just getting started with an A6000 or similar camera. They're super compact, lightweight, and they just make an overall package that is quite small and easy to throw in a pocket. Okay, so that covers my recommendations for prime lenses. If you have any questions or another suggestion, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Let's move on to zooms. If you want a zoom lens for your Sony APS-C camera, you should look at a few options. First, the Sigma 10 to 18mm f2.8 is a great option for a high quality wide angle zoom lens. It's similar to what you might get with a 16 to 35 on full frame, but suited to your APS-C camera. Alternatively, you could look at the Tamron 11 to 20mm f2.8. Both of these offer a consistent aperture, which is a must in my book if you want your exposure settings to stay consistent when shooting in manual mode. Speaking of which, if you want to shoot in manual mode and learn more about that, you should check out this video. I'll link it in the description below as well. Brenda does a great job of teaching how to get started shooting in manual. All right, so let's talk about a mid-range zoom, which is going to be the APS-C equivalent of, say, a 24 to 70 on full frame. You might look at the Sigma 17 to 40 f1.8, which was just released. It's an awesome lens that has an f1.8 aperture, great for low light. You could also look at the Sigma 18 to 50mm, which has a little bit more reach and is a little more lightweight and compact if that's important to you. For telephoto zooms, I suggest you check out the Sony 70 to 350mm lens. It's offering a great quality image, and it's got that super zoom with a 525mm equivalent focal length. Lastly, you might consider an all-in-one zoom. There's been a few of these coming out, and the only downside is the variable aperture. But if you want to look at this category, the Sigma 16 to 300mm is an awesome choice. Tamron also makes an 18 to 300 millimeter. And I would say the main downside is a little bit of sacrifice in image quality and that variable aperture, which can make shooting in manual mode harder because your exposure will be changing as you zoom. However, if you want one lens that can do it all, these are solid options. They're kind of the jack of all trades and master of none, but sometimes that's the right choice if you're only gonna take a small kit with you. A compromise might be looking at one of the primes that I recommended in the beginning combined with one of these zoom lenses. That's often what I end up working with or traveling with because I like the low light performance of the prime when it's dark out or I'm shooting in specific scenarios, and then you get the advantage of having one lens that can kind of do it all in the variety of the other parts of the day when you might want a super zoom or you might want a wide angle. It just gives you that flexibility. Okay, so that was a lot of lenses. If you have any other lenses that you really like for Sony, leave a comment down below and share with our community. I love seeing what's working for people. What works well for certain scenarios might not work for other people, but sometimes you get a recommendation that is a lens you haven't really heard much about, and it's fun to share that. So I appreciate you guys leaving a comment down below, and I'll respond to those as they come in. And if you're ready to go out and shop for some lenses, as I said before, I appreciate if you use the links down in the description to help support the channel. You'll also find a link to our travel photography guide, which has a ton of info we've learned over the last 15 years as professional photographers. It links to our shop where you can go get that guide, and you can also, I'll put a link down there to our money and gear guide if you're kind of shopping for equipment but want to spend your money wisely and figure out what kit is going to work well for you for each scenario. Subscribe if you haven't already, and check out this video on the best camera under $1,000. I will see you over there.